Hi guys. See, there's a few of you watching. Hi. How are you guys doing? If anybody's not lurking. Hey Torvy. So hey, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. We got quite a bit of things to do today. So the item that won on the poll when I was doing the poll on Twitter was for me to make biscuits and gravy. Aw, Project, I love you too. Hi. Morning, afternoon, whatever. Actually, for you it'd be afternoon because I know where you live. Kinda. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be making biscuits and gravy. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of southern. In a general vague sense, I do, Project. But anyways, I grew up in a somewhat southern household, so I'm quite used to southern food. Um, My friends that are not from America always get confused by this particular meal, so it might be kind of interesting to see. Um, if you guys didn't know, those of you who are from America or from not, biscuits in America are known as scones or scones, depending on where you're from, over in Europe. So when they hear biscuits, they actually hear cookie, is what we think. So like a sweetened thing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like a fun thing that always happens because every time they hear that, they think that, and then gravy, they think of like a brown, like beef gravy sauce. The majority of them, I think, like obviously the internet's made it easier for them to know what the hell biscuits and gravy actually is. But just so we have some lay down here, what we're going to be making is pork sausage. I'm actually going to grind sausage for this. I have my trusty KitchenAid out over here. So I'm going to actually grind the sausage myself. If you watch my D&D stream, I actually did that for the sausage links that we had. But I did that off screen because doing sausage links takes like 3 hours. Um, and I don't know if I have enough to talk about for 3 hours. Maybe. But so what we're going to do today, though, is we're going to actually grind our own sausage, make our own biscuits, and then make gravy out of it. So you can see I've got some stuff here. Uh-huh. I love you too. 19 months.
Hi, 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 hi.
19 fucking months. That's insane. That is crazy. I, with my horrible streaming schedule, I can't believe that. I love you. My wifey is fucking amazing. But most of you know that, if not all of you. Um, so the thing about this sausage is that I can't have sugar. A lot of you already know this. I've repeatedly said it. So the recipe, if you look at it, actually requires that you use sugar. So I've got a few substitutes here. We're going to be using brown sugar. So this is Swerve, which is actually my favorite sugar substitute. And that's the brown sugar one. And then I'm also going to be making maple sausage. So this is maple keto syrup that's made with monk fruit. For those of you who are trying to avoid sugar, monk fruit is my favorite to use to make up for sugar. And a lot of times, like here, I'll show you. This is one of the sweeteners I use. Lakanto, which is also the people that made the syrup. It is a monk fruit sweetener. The cool thing is, and once again, for those of you who are doing like special diets or whatever, where you have to worry about this kind of thing, you'll see on here, 1-for-1 sugar replacement. That's something to pay attention to because some of the sugar replacements, you actually have to measure like 1-for-2 or 2-for-1, etc. I like to use ones that are 1-for-1, makes recipes a lot fucking easier, but that's a tip. Haha. Look at me, I'm being helpful. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and make sausage. If you guys have never seen it, it's an interesting process. But right here I have pork butt, which is a, contrary to the name, much as I love the name pork butt, it's actually the shoulder of the pig, so it's back here. And it's a really good marbled meat for sausage making. P.S. I'm just going to let you guys know right now, I'm having, well, if you've never heard of it, body dysmorphia. I'm having what's called a dysmorphic day. Phone, what are you doing? Just a second. I see Irene decided to cut out for a second. I will not be grinding bones. Bones are not something you put in sausage. Alright. Sorry about that cutout there. For some reason the webcam was just like, no, I'm good. Where was I? But anyways, I'm having kind of a dysmorphic day, which means there's a little bit of me right now that's kind of like feeling like I'm 400 pounds. So I may be a little bit off today, but I promise this, so we're just going to fucking push through, because that's what we do, right? But anyways, so if you guys can't see, I went ahead and spoiled the shit out of you guys and went to Whole Foods. It's expensive fucking pork, by the way. But this is our pork butt, like I said. Bread. Yes, bread. But anyways, so this is, I just got this yesterday. Those rest are quite, yeah. But I just got this yesterday, straight from the butcher. If anybody knows about meat, like this is a beautiful, beautiful marbling on the fat. That is the other thing about sausage that you have to keep in mind. Sausage requires fat. It will dry out. Any ground meat does. That's why you'll run into like beef and stuff where they have like the percentage of fat or whatever. That's why like with hamburgers, things like that, that you're going to cook for a little bit longer, you have to have a good amount of meat. Oh, am I lagging? We'll give this a second just to catch up. My webcam was being stupid, so I would believe that. Give me just a second. I gotta wash one hand because knife. Yeah, let me know if it's lagging, guys. Hopefully not. Short term. Okay. Yeah, my webcam, I think because I have an update that's pending on my phone, my webcam was like, I'm gonna cut out for a minute. And that probably caused an issue. Oh, I need to take that off a Nightbot. Well, you know, if you guys want to keep donating, I will keep doing that. I have not made the payment yet to the animal shelter, which I plan to do actually later tonight. And at $2.50, cool thing is, if you guys didn't know, 2 weeks ago on Valentine's Day, I did a charity stream. We made it to $150. At $2.50, we actually, there'll actually be a name on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and up it to $2.50. Just because, hell yeah, I want my name up there. More celery. I do have celery, but dear God, please don't make me do that again. That was horrifying. Anyway, so if you get this stuff from a butcher, they actually have the twine on it, like you guys saw. I went ahead and took off. But because we don't need twine, obviously, we're cutting this into chunks that will allow us to actually grind it. And all I'm doing right now is going to be a rough. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do a rough chop on this and kind of cube it up. When you're grinding, you want like smaller pieces. If I had an industrial one, obviously I could probably just throw this entire thing in there. But nice butt. Yes, you can say that on my stream today. Actually, I don't really care if you say it at any time. However, today I will agree with you. This is a very nice butt. So yeah, like I said, we're just going to chop this into chunks. If you do check the recipe that I put to the side, ding, exclamation point recipe, they say to refrigerate for an hour. This is actually still cold because I have left it in the refrigerator for so long. So we're only going to refrigerate it for the time it takes to make the biscuits, and then we're going to grind it. For another note, if you ever do decide to do this grinding, whether you're using something like a KitchenAid or if you're using like a tabletop grinder, because there's ones that are like crank, older style, a little bit cheaper, you want to make sure, like right now, all the parts of my grinder are in my freezer. Because if you have meat and tools that are warm, instead of getting the like crumbles that you would with a grinder, you're just going to make a meat mush. So it has to be really cold to be able to achieve like a sausage texture. And like I said, you can see with this pork, there's a good amount of fat, and I'm not going to cut that out. You're lazy, you buy ground. You know what? I don't blame you. Also, hack, if you guys don't have a grinder, if you do want to try to do ground meat, you can actually do it in a blender. If you have a good enough blender, like, you don't need like a Vitamix or any of those like $500 blenders. But like I have a Ninja. I could technically do it in my Ninja. You just have to make sure your stuff's really cold. So throw your blender in, throw your blade in, throw anything that will touch the meat into the freezer. And you can actually grind your own meat. And that goes for like, not just to make sausage, but like if you wanted to do it with beef or anything like that. Yeah, it is why meat departments are chilly. The only time that meat should be warm is when it's coming up to temp. Which, P.S., you should almost always do that with every meat. Not chicken, but any red meat, I should say. Because it puts less tension, makes things less tender. Then the shock to the system of going from cold to hot. Yeah, you guys can see. Just making sure the camera wasn't cutting out. Anyways, so yeah, I skipped last week. Funny story, ha ha ha, if you guys were watching my Valentine's stream, hopefully you didn't notice this. I burnt the ever-living fuck out of my hand. Near the end, I wasn't paying attention. Note to anybody who ever gets in the kitchen, this is something to watch out for. If you have a pan that you pull a silicone thing off of, that you can stick in the oven, don't grab the metal without the silicone pad on it. It does not end well. But it's okay. My hand recovered. If you guys didn't know, I'm actually a first responder for medical. So I know what to do. How bad? My entire hand blistered up. I don't think, you can't really see it now. You might be able to see like on my pinky there. You can see that kind of scaly part, and you can see like right there. But my entire hand was blistered completely. Could not use it. Finished stream though. We persevere, right? But yeah, so I basically touched a 400-degree pan with my hand. It's because I got distracted. ADD's a bitch sometimes. But it's not the first time I've burnt the fuck out of myself. Shit happens in a kitchen. So, but it's okay. Threw it under cold water, and then if you watch the end of the stream, you can actually watch while I am holding my iced coffee quite close, and that's because my hand was hurting a lot. I also got really pale, I think, right at that moment. I don't go back and watch my streams, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I did. It's gonna make you hungry. I'm sorry. I will cook you food. I would cook you food in a heartbeat. Although this is pork, so maybe I'd have to make like turkey or something for you, because I know you're not a big fan of pork. And I'm not either in most applications. This is just the very traditional way to make biscuits and gravy, is with pork. So. But yeah, no, I burnt the hell out of my hand. My entire, I'll show you again once I get this cut. The entire pad of my hand was one big blister, and then across the bottom of every single finger, and then the edges of my finger. Yeah, you can see a little bit there too, where it was blistered, but basically this entire area. So, probably half of my hand was just one big blister. Like I said, shit happens, right? Okay, so we've got our pork, like you can see, it's just cubed up. And as you can kind of maybe tell, texture right now is because it's getting closer to room temp. So it's not very solid, like it's a little gushy, which we don't want. However, I need to put the seasoning in here and I'm gonna have to mix with my hands. So we're gonna do the dirty hand, clean hand method here, right? So we're keeping this hand dirty because this one's going to mix everything. So the first thing we need, so now I gotta do this all one-handed. Actually, makes it easier on myself. We're gonna get the cutting board out of the way. Anyways. Wait. You have two hands? Yeah, I upgraded, so I have two now. Pretty great, right? It's funny, you'd think they'd do a buy one, get one free, but no. Okay. So like I said, this is our sugar substitute. High roller. Hell yeah, I am. Anyways, this is our sugar substitute. Acts just like sugar. And the way that sugar will stick, 2 tablespoons really badly. There we go. There we go. Another tip. So you need brown sugar, but you don't have any. I'm going to show you guys. If you have regular sugar, you can get this stuff called molasses. It's very southern. Molasses. That's all brown sugar is. It's just sugar with molasses added. So if you ever don't have yourself some brown sugar, if you happen to keep molasses, a lot of people do if they cook sweets, but if you happen to do that, you can indeed make your own brown sugar. I think it's 1-to-1 ratio. So like 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon for dark brown sugar. And then just depending on whether you want light or not, that's kind of how you adjust that. Okay, teaspoon kosher salt. And normally I would use my salt grinder, but I'm using pickling salt so that this will melt down into it a little bit quicker. Pickling salt is a finer grain of salt. Then a teaspoon of pepper. Let me get my gigantic thing of pepper out here. Bam. Industrial size pepper. You can tell I have been somebody who cooked a lot. Okay. Put pepper back. Alright, so we got our salt, pepper, our brown sugar in here. Okay. And actually it wants us to chop some sage, so I guess I am going to have to wash my hand. And we're going to reuse the same knife. So I'm just going to go ahead and wash my knife and my cutting board real quick. And my cutting board is moving around a bit, which was annoying. There we go. You can also just put a kitchen towel under your cutting board if it moves too much. Okay. So those are both clean. Now we're going to go ahead and get our fresh herbs. So the first one is sage. Hey, Laffy. Were you streaming? What are you doing? I make my own cheese. Nice. Yeah, I keep thinking about making mozzarella, and I thought that might be an interesting community challenge, right? We need a teaspoon. That should equal out about a teaspoon, but let me grab one more leaf just to make sure. Because another note, when buying meat, obviously it's really hard to get like exact amounts. Watching me and having two hands like a high roller. Hell yeah, join the two hands club. No, that's not right. I know plenty of people who get along just fine without the use of two hands. My cousin actually only has one leg below the knee. By the way, if you guys have never messed with sage, like, it's soft. Thank you guys for all your contributions. Yeah, we do that. I will make caprese or something on my stream, and I will make, it's called buffalo mozzarella. Okay, so we got our sage here. Never had sage? So a lot of people probably have, you just don't recognize it. It gets used a lot in turkey and Thanksgiving meals. A lot of times it's in dressing or stuffing, depending on what you call it. Taking to calling it dressing now instead of stuffing because you're not supposed to put it in a turkey. So we're just chopping up our sage. I'm going to go a little bit lower with my camera because we're doing smaller stuff here. Now, once again, this is going through a grinder, so I don't have to be like exact with it. As far as cutting. Thank you. Thanks, Sinku. I don't know how to describe sage though. Typically what it's used for is to get rid of like a gamey flavor. That's what a lot of people use it for. So like if you use deer, a lot of people throw sage in there because it dumbs down the gamey flavor, which if you've ever had any game meat, you know the flavor I'm talking about, which is indescribable, but not one I personally like. So, I found out the other day that I was doing something stupid because I wasn't paying attention to my tools. I really gotta turn that nightbot off. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I have a stripper. Literally says it. And your scissors might have something similar. Basically, you can grab the branch of the herb and you pull it through here and it strips the herb off of said branch. Usually you gotta do the bottom half. Let's see. Isn't that cool? I didn't realize my scissors had that. So this is just rosemary. Actually, I'm gonna be picky. Technically, this stuff is fine to eat. You want mostly leaves, but like the top is not woody. That's the problem, is the bottom is woody and you don't want that flavor. But I'm gonna go ahead and strip it anyway. But yeah, welcome in, Laffy. How'd your games go? I was gonna join and then I was like, wait, I don't have time before my stream. Also, how is Yellow? Is he still causing trouble? If you guys didn't know, Laffy met one of his community challenges actually, which was to free the color yellow on his color stream. You can control what color basically is showing through his lighting setup. And he had banned yellow. Unfairly from what I can tell. Anyway. I don't need quite that much. So we're just gonna get rid of the rest of that. But yeah, he freed yellow yesterday. Hopefully yellow is not doing anything that will keep yellow from staying out. What do you know Ewing, Sinku? Sometimes doing this stripper thing I think might be more difficult than me just doing it myself with my hand, but I'm trying to use this tool because I have it. Unlocking random emotes. Oh! Well, congrats on that. I did actually add another channel point redemption. If you guys are ever in a stream with me, I like to request dance parties. So I did actually add a dance party to my channel point redemptions. I'm only gonna do it once a stream, and that's because I don't do very long streams, for one, and for two, I can't be, well, okay, I could, but it'd be really hard to dance through my entire stream. I would. For those of you who don't know, I actually used to do belly dancing for a long time when I was heavier. Haven't done it as much since I lost weight, which is funny when you think about it. Hen. Aku stole ng kana sin hen. Ano kana? Okay. That's the last of it off. Rosemary. Okay. This is what our sausage mixture is looking like. Have I used the? Okay, and we need some cayenne. Once again, can you tell I do industrial cooking? I gotta start using more Finnish phrases. I'm forgetting some of them because I haven't had a chance to talk to you much because work sucks. It's a little bit of cayenne. And some red pepper flakes. This is gonna be some spicy sausage. Time zones suck. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they really do. Okay, and then last but not least, nutmeg. Let me get my microplane here. But yes, time zones do indeed fucking suck. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should try doing some Finnish food. Can't say I've ever made anything Finnish. Actually, like Scandinavian area and stuff, I don't think I've made anything around that area. Alright. So there we go. We've got some nutmeg in there. So, that should be everything, I believe. You have a few ideas. Ooh, okay. Totally down. I've had, just because I am the curious type, I've had like stuff that's from there, but I've never really made any. As long as you don't say, what is it, strömsling? Or whatever, the shark. Or the live fish, let's not do that. That's my two drawing the lines there. I would try a lot of other things though. I know we've talked about sweets a lot. And I know there's like a lot of potato dishes, if I remember right. The smelly fish. It's like, hell no. Yeah, I can't. That was a big chunk. We're not going to keep that. So all I'm doing right now is just mixing. Trying to make sure the seasonings get everywhere. So, hey, no. Yeah, I have tried the live fish. I can't remember what it's called right now. I have tried it. I can't. I just can't. Okay, actually, I will take it back. I have tried some Swedish stuff, but I blame IKEA for that. But I think that's the closest I've gotten to Finnish food. Okay, so if you look at that, it's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, pop this in the freezer. Hopefully I can find space in my freezer. I have a lot of crap in my freezer. This is the Squiff Rearranger Freezer Show. Dun, dun, dun. Not quite. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, that's why. Bam. We're gonna make that work. Yeah, I would totally make some Finnish food, though. I'd try some. Okay. All right, so we've got our meat in the freezer. Like I said, we got to let that go for quite a while. So our next one, we're going to be doing biscuits. Or, like I said, those of you in Europe, scones. This is a buttermilk biscuit. Okay. So, for note, frozen butter is actually best in this as well. Butter goes in there. Sheesh. All right. Preheat our oven to 425. Get that going. Okay, so we need 2 cups of flour. Now, this is all-purpose flour. I have a bunch of bread flour left. I haven't been making much bread, so I've got that as my stand-in because I don't know if I have quite enough. No. It sounded like something was about to fall off my fridge. No, my husband is currently screaming at his computer. That'll work. So, he's staying put just fine. This is a small bag for flour. Hey, look, the recipe on the back is banana bread. Torby. Okay. Defending. Resetting Windows now. Yeah. Hi. He had some driver issues this morning. Good luck. Yeah. Driver issues are not fun. That's a very accurate face. Alright, tablespoon of baking powder. Wipe that down, make sure that it doesn't have any brown sugar left in it. Another note for those of you who don't cook much, there's baking powder and there is baking soda. Which I don't remember the name. I want to say it's bicarbonate. What even sodium bicarbonate, which I believe is baking soda. But this is baking powder. There is a difference. They do different things. Make sure you don't mix them up. Okay, and then a tablespoon of sugar. So again, this is a sugar substitute. Okay, boom. And then a teaspoon of salt. See, I went ahead and put my salt away. Made a difference. Made a mistake. Bicarbonate is a technical term. I can never remember the difference. Yeah, I can't remember either. I do know in other, once again going back to the other countries thing, they do call it, they don't call it baking soda and baking powder. It's different. It's a different name. I'm just having a moment and can't remember which one is which. Okay. So this is our biscuit powder. The dry ingredients. Copying all your dogs. Yeah, he was screaming a lot from the other room while I was trying to set up my stream. Maybe a bit. Yeah. Alright, so you want to make sure that you mix the dry ingredients, because the thing is, once we get to the point where we're adding wet, we don't want to mix much on this. Biscuits are one of those things where it's better to mix less than more. If you ever heard the term to combine, that's what it's for. You want it just to come together. No more than that. So now the next step, you can have this tool that's called the pastry cutter. It looks like a handle and it's got like a, almost, it seems like a comb or whatever. It's like a half moon with like 4 different blades. And that's a pastry cutter. And people use that for making biscuits, if you've ever seen one, maybe on a cooking show and stuff, because to be honest, they're not really that useful. The other tip you can do is you can use a grater. Yeah, there's an acid component to powder. You're correct. So anyways, that butter, which I probably should have frozen for longer, but it'll be okay. Baking powder has ass butt. Butt King soda, bicarbonate does not. It's beautiful. Anyway, if you don't have a pastry cutter, which most of you shouldn't, because why? Just use a grater. It says, unsalted European butter is ideal for southern biscuits. The hell, southerners sitting here with unsalted European butter. Get butter. Just real butter. Don't use margarine. Just butter. And make sure it's unsalted. Why? Why would you do this, Sinku? Anyway. Alright. So I only need 6. We're going to put this other 2 over to the side because we're going to use it to brush on top. For note, keeping it in the wax paper, 1, so it doesn't melt in my hand, and 2, so less of the heat transference happens from my hands. I had to go for the cheap one. Yeah, you did. You really did. See, like I said, we're just gonna grate this butter up. Really? You went for the clarified butter joke. Oh, I hope you blue screen again. I know where you live. I'm gonna take my camera and go get you on stream. You fucking do that. Make you fess up for your crimes. I wish I could do that, Sinku. I can't eat this much. So I'd just be throwing it in the trash if I didn't have him eat some of it. Now the reason that we're doing this, in case you're like, but why are you breaking the butter into small pieces like this instead of melting it or something like that? So it's kind of like a version of laminating, which is a thing from French cooking. Lamination basically means to put butter between layers. Drop off neighbor's house. COVID. I can't. Okay. Anyways, but it's a form of laminating, which basically means to put butter between layers. And it's kind of similar in biscuits that basically you want pieces of butter in the flour. It makes little pockets, basically richness, kind of like you will with a croissant. And once again, to avoid using the heat for my hands and heating up the butter, I'm using a spatula to kind of coat it. And the thing is, once the flour coats the butter a little bit, go in. Once the flour coats the butter a little bit, it's less likely to melt because it insulates it slightly. But you can see there's little like crumbly pieces of butter just in there. If you look close, like the dough went from being all powdery to having little crumbles, and that is the butter getting coated. And that's what we want. I've got some bigger pieces like this. I'll kind of break it up a little bit. Probably would have been better to just grate directly into the bowl. That's okay. Considering my butter's a little bit warmer than it should be. Like I said, sorry though. Okay, so we're good there. And it is now into our flour mixture. So now we are going to add in buttermilk. I've shown this trick before. So this is just whole milk that I've added some vinegar to. I like that noise. Anyway, it's whole milk that I've added vinegar to. If you notice, it's a little bit thicker consistency than your normal milk. It's because the vinegar causes it to curdle, which turns it into buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, this is the way to mimic it. And I personally don't see a point. Aw, Project hosted me. I didn't even see that. Thank you, Project. Anyway, I don't see a point in buying buttermilk specifically when you can just mimic. It tastes the same. It's really about the same thing when it comes down to it. I'm just gonna get the last of the buttermilk out of there. Once again, not using our hands. Less heat, better. You'll notice it's starting to come together as a dough. It starts to pick up the flour because the moisture is bonding to it. Okay. So it's combined at this point. Like I said, biscuit is not something you screw with. Like there's a lot of doughs that you want to build up It's called gluten. Gluten being the thing that makes bread chewy. You don't want to do that with biscuits. If you've ever had biscuits or scones, they're flaky, not chewy, right? And that's because you're not overworking it. You're not causing the gluten to form by actually pulling the elasticity out of the flour, which the way you do that is working it. It's kind of like a muscle. It becomes more flexible, the more you work it. So, at this point, we're going to go ahead and flour our surface. Here comes the fun thing. I'm wearing all black. Rethinking outfit choices in 3, 2. Now, you know what? I'm not rethinking it. I happen to have an apron. Haha. So screw it. We're just going to wear our apron. Because I like my all black outfit and it makes me happy. That and I have a skeleton apron, so why not? I love this apron also. Yeah, if you guys can't see it, it's my holographic skeleton apron. Transparent apron. Jesus, thank you. Alright. Anyway, so we're going to get the flour kind of all over the surface here. Get it on our hands. Okay. And to pull the dough out. Just going to turn it out. Like I said, we're just trying to get this to come together. Like, we don't want to warm it up too much with our hands. I'm going to move my camera back just slightly so I don't cover it in flour. And obviously there's going to be some heating that happens. Hands are hotter than cold dough. You just want to minimize it as much as possible. So just trying to get it to come together. Anytime I find a spot that seems sticky or wet, just kind of working that in. Okay, so that should be enough, I think. That's the other trick. You find a wet spot, pick it up. That sounds real bad. You're in a mood. Yeah, you are. All right. Once the dough is cohesive, so this is the cohesive dough here. As you'll notice, it's pretty much brought together. And I don't want to mess with it too much more. Have a little bit of flour mixture still stuck in there. Okay. We're going to fold it over itself a couple times. This is creating that lamination we were talking about. So now there's some butter layers that are kind of built in. It's a little bit sticky still. I'm just gonna a tiny bit of flour, brush it over it. Okay, so we're just folding again. Once again, we got some sticky. Okay. Okay. Oh, sticking to the just gonna reflour our surface a little bit there. Fold it over, rotate, fold it over. Okay, there we go. It's plenty worked. So now, using our hands, we are going to flatten this out to where it is roughly an inch tall. I'm going to flip it over because I'm just trying to make sure we get enough flour so that it's not sticky. Okay, now technically we need a biscuit cutter, it states. I don't believe in buying biscuit cutters because I don't make biscuits often enough. So instead, there it is. This is another trick for you. Mason jar lid. Works just as well. How many are we cutting out of this? Should have at least 6. Okay. With biscuits, cut straight down. Don't just push down all the way to the surface. Because you want to keep those layers that you put in intact. All right. And then I have a Silpat here. It's a silicone tray cover. Basically nothing will stick to this. You can put it over any pan and it can go into high heat. Okay. Okay, so we've got 5 biscuits there. Take this. We're just reforming it. I don't want to do any more work really. We're just reforming it and getting it back out to where it's about the same height as the other one was. And just keep flattening this back out until we have like no dough left. This will probably make one more. But it's starting to get too warm to continue. Yep. So we lose a little bit of dough. That's fine. So this is our biscuits here. 2, 3. So we've got 7, 10. 10 biscuits. Technically they said 6. I'm okay with that. Smaller biscuits will work actually better for me and my husband than the larger biscuits. And now I have thoroughly made a mess. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup here. Because our next thing is to grind our sausage. Look at that though, I have enough flour. Okay. So here comes the fun part. You guys have never seen a sausage grinder. It's interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to capture this best. I think a little more height. And my lovely trash can in the background. like I said before, I'm pulling everything from my freezer. If it's not cold, it's not going to work right. Okay. This is our cold grinding apparatus here, actually. Probably have to remember how all of this goes on. This goes like this. And then we have a blade that fits on, a grinding plate. There we go. And then we have a tray. Yeah, you guys can't even see the tray. Might be the best I can do, though. There we go. I'll have a little bit of insight then. All right. So here comes the fun part. I think our grind is supposed to be at 4. I'm going to turn down my mic a little bit because this is loud. And I may not talk much. This is our push. Hi, Andy. Almost done. This is a lovely noise, though, isn't it? Jam. Like the music. Sorry, Sinku. Okay. So this is not fine ground. What I'm going to do, just because it is stream, I do want to go with a fine ground, but I know that the majority of this could use more freezing for me to use in the future. I'm going to go ahead and set aside enough for stream. I'm going to freeze the rest of this for myself later. Because it would definitely be better. Fine ground is the breakfast sausage. But it's going to take some chilling time to get to that point. However, this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can get it in camera. Nope. KitchenAid, out of the way. So that is our ground up sausage. Stretch. Let me wash my hands, then I will. How long were biscuits? Okay. Checking our recipes. Cat jamming the sausage. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw this stuff back in the freezer. Allow the rest of the sausage to cool. Back up. And then I will go back off stream in a couple hours. That was loud. Sorry, guys. I will go back when I'm off stream in a couple hours and regrind this into fine. Because it's going to need that. Okay, stretch. Okay, everybody. Come stretch. We're going to stretch. As I break my mic. Let's do a full stretch. Alright, alright. All of you are stretching with me, right? Maybe not out of your chair. I don't know, move your neck. Right? But yeah, let's stretch, everybody. Yeah. Good? We good? Okay. Anyways, like I said, the rest of this is gonna go back in the freezer. I'm gonna fine grind the rest of my sausage. But there you go. If you have not seen it, that is how a grinder works. Thought it'd be interesting, especially because biscuits and gravy is a really easy thing to make. If you just buy everything, like you can buy like here, you can buy like Pillsbury biscuits, which are already, made and stuff like that. And you can buy pre-ground sausage, and I was like, that's a 15-minute stream, because that's how long it takes me to make. So I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. However, this is ground enough for me to make my sausage gravy. So, let me get angle here for you guys on the pan. And drink a little bit of coffee. All right. Yeah, they say to use a fine blade. It's fine. However, we're going to test a small piece of the sausage just to make sure it's good. So this is our pan. Kind of shocked. I have hydrate in there. No Torby. Actually, we'll put this in glass. like he wants me to dehydrate. Challenge. Melt a little bit of butter. Oh, you're gonna make me hydrate instead, hon? Okay. That works. Nice. I do like cheese. Okay, so I came to a realization the other day that I might like cheese too much. Okay, I'll show you guys why not. This is my cheese drawer. I don't know if you can see it. Let me, this is my cheese drawer. I kind of like cheese. But I came to a realization that I have an entire drawer dedicated to nothing but cheese. I like cheese. Alright. I think our pan is probably heated up a little bit. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of the sausage here. I'm just going to push it down into a form that I can kind of make it as a patty. So I don't need a lot, I'm just testing it. But yeah, I have a lot of cheese. A pot of cheese. Not that I find anything wrong with that. So, when it comes to sausage, it's not much you need for it. There's a recipe there, but I'll be honest, I have never in my life followed a recipe for this, and I probably won't. But if you need amounts and stuff, if you're one of those type of people that feels better when cooking with amounts, you can go ahead and look at that recipe. Like I said, I won't, because I've made biscuits and gravy since I was, I think, like 8 years old. So I don't really need help with it. But I've never like written down a recipe, but I felt like I should have something. Yeah, since I didn't fine grain this, it's like, what's a sausage patty? I don't want to stand in that form. Hey Flash, how are you doing? Good to see you. How are things? However, it does look like this sausage is cooking up pretty nicely. So I think we're good. I learn better with a video recipe than a written one. Yeah, I prefer it too because there's more engagement. Rewinding back is a godsend. Yes, it is. 100% agree with that. That is why I have Good Eats DVDs. Alton Brown teach me. So how is everything though? I haven't seen you in a little bit. So when I get to actually making this, the technique that you use for creating sausage gravy, or biscuits and gravy, is actually to render. If you guys have ever heard of that term. Basically what rendering is to pull the fat out of something. Hell yeah, you got your vaccine? Yes. I'm supposed to be mid-March, I think, because I'm technically considered a essential worker, not in healthcare, but because I do IT. Sorry, I'm pulling my hair down because I'm starting to get a headache. But IT workers here actually are considered essential because we keep, businesses running. So in mid-March, I should hopefully be receiving mine. America's a bit behind, although, in good news for us Americans, if you haven't paid attention to the news, I just was reading this. I think it was Johnson and Johnson. They came up with a vaccine that only requires one dose, and it was finally approved by the FDA here in America. That brings another manufacturer, plus a manufacturer that's only one dose vaccines, which will be nice. Considered essential, but low on the list. The world just didn't know how to handle this crap, like anywhere. I mean, obviously America has done the worst fucking job with it, but I don't think anywhere was really prepared. Alright, so we're just gonna take like a... That's a pretty good sausage. So I told you guys earlier I was gonna make this slightly sweet. It does have brown sugar in it, but I also want to put some maple. So, before I throw this in the pan, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of my sugar-free maple syrup into the sausage. I could technically have ground this in here, but I don't know if I want the whole thing to have maple. We'll see when it comes out. Ooh, there's a little kick. Forgot there was cayenne in this. Alright. So now, to render. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Rendering any kind of meat means you put it at a lower temperature so that you can get the meat out instead of having it reabsorb. So, I can smell the maple syrup. Anyway, what I'm doing here is just flattening it out so I get as much contact as possible for browning. That smells so good. Cat turn into butt. Not necessarily. Buttspot chooses where Buttspot wants to put it. Wait, ADHD puts you in a risk category? Huh. I have ADHD. Well, there's a good chance, because this is sausage, that we may get the special alarm. So I'm going to turn on my fan. I get the asthmatic. The ADHD put you in? Because I have ADHD. Huh. Now you see it's starting to brown up a little bit. I'm actually going to turn that to low on the fan, so it's not as obnoxious. And I'm probably going to take part of this cooked sausage and split it off. Put it aside for like putting in eggs and stuff, because I definitely don't need this much gravy. Let's check our biscuits. I think they should be done. Oh, they're overdone. That's alright. They're not too bad. Actually, they're good. But that's great. I'm glad they put mental illness as a priority category. I don't think America did that. Not that I've seen, at least. There it is. I love sausage. Hey guys, food's done. Called it. I love my overly sensitive. My husband's yelling from the other room. I love my overly sensitive freaking smoke alarm. Governor decided that underlying conditions can wait until general public release? What? Nebraska's fucking stupid. Sorry, Torby, I know you live there. That's stupid. Although I found out, I think I mentioned this last time, my friend that has diabetes got pushed back, which is ridiculous. That is completely stupid. So yeah, if I was gonna eat these biscuits alone, I would say these are way overdone. For gravy, they actually work. I like a little crispier biscuit anyway with my gravy, so we're good. But yeah, you can see like the fat is bleeding out of the sausage. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Anyway, fat is coming out of the sausage. It's rendering out as I cook this. By the way, this is the pan I burned myself on. Anyway. Can't wait until Dollar Store Lex Luthor's out of. Oh, do you guys have a shitty senator? Well, is it senator or governor that's actually making that decision? I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I'm gonna go with my blue spiral plate for when I plate this up. Yeah, I don't know who made the decision on when each person gets the vaccine in each state. I don't know whose jurisdiction that falls to. Be nice if we had a nationwide plan we could just follow. Oh, wait. Hell, mine's broken down by county. You guys want to see the inside of the biscuit? I'm gonna try one of the smaller ones. If the governor disagrees with something, he'll dump money. Oh, that's fucking horrible. That is horrible, Torby. Yeah, you guys can see now. There's some grease. The grease is actually what we want for the gravy. Like I said, we're just trying to make sure we get all of this cooked. Well, wait, Tori, though, I mean, considering your status at the beginning of the whole pandemic and stuff, for those of you who don't know, Tori is hella fucking awesome because he was one of the people doing deliveries when the pandemic first hit and working way too much. Wouldn't you be considered essential? Oh, money makes everything run, though, Flash. Like, let's be honest. Everything everywhere. Also, I haven't eaten today. So. I take it by your laugh that I am incorrect. Or there's some bullshit about to come out. I would assume delivery of goods is essential, right? Your general public. Wow. Wow. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna set aside a bunch of this sausage. Because during the week, me and my husband will like throw it in eggs or, you know, Potentially other things. Since I put the maple in, probably just eggs. But we'll throw it into other meals. That's why it's okay that it's cooked. Maybe I'll make some breakfast sausages or breakfast burritos or something with it. But you guys can see the bit of fat we've got down there. This is our pay dirt. Now, I don't need that much fat. You need a little bit for gravy. You don't need that much. So I'm going to go ahead and soak up some of that fat. There we go. For this amount of sausage, probably a little, and you can see as I move stuff around, there's still more. You want about, I don't know, a teaspoon or so. Between a teaspoon and tablespoons, maybe like 2 teaspoons of fat. You love breakfast burritos? I fucking love breakfast burritos too. And I have an avocado. Wait, have I killed it yet? No, I still have an avocado. So a breakfast burrito would be fantastic. Alright. Check and make sure we don't see any more pink in here. There's a little bit. So I'm going to let this cook for just a few minutes more while we discuss the bullshit that is this pandemic. So, Lappy, do you actually cook? I don't think I've ever asked. I know we've talked about like food and stuff, but I don't know if you actually cook. Alright. While I'm waiting on that, go ahead and get out. So you can use cream, you can use milk, you can use, I believe almond milk works well. You do, but not well. Okay. I like to use cream or half and half for my sausage gravy. I happen to have some half and half. I don't really use it for anything else, so like I don't really use it in coffee or anything like that much. So screw it. Let's use it. Alright. I think we've got all the pink sausage out of our way. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you crumble this up pretty well. You'll notice I have pretty small crumbles. So here is where the magic occurs. Warning you once again, I do not measure this. I put until it looks right. So that's about 2.5 teaspoons of flour. And we're just going to coat our sausage here with the flour. And what that's doing is absorbing that excess fat that we had. And you'll notice that the flour just sort of disappears as you stir it in. I had a message. But you'll notice that like the flour completely gone, but you also notice the fat pretty much gone. Like it absorbs it all. What you're doing is creating a roux. Not like a Roofost. Not like a yells at you if you do ASMR. Or not like a keeper of all the Yorkshire Terriers in the land. But like the, I believe it's French process. ROUX. Basically it's fat and flour put together to create a thickener. And I will keep putting flour on here and kind of mixing it around until I don't see any more grease really collecting on the bottom. So you'll notice like there's a little bit, and that's fine. The flour hasn't completely absorbed it yet. What's that? Okay, my phone is, or my machine was doing some shit. Batch cook stuff, you know, public recipes. Okay. Hey, turkey patty sounds awesome. And I'm the same way, Flash. I can't do large batch cooking. I'm not a person that can eat the same thing every day. I actually told my husband when we started staying at home, I was like, I know that we have to eat leftovers a lot because we eat small portions, but I refuse to microwave something twice a day. Like, I refuse. So I try not to eat leftovers more than once a day. Alright, so what we're doing now, just letting this cook for a little bit. If you've ever tasted raw flour, it's a fucking horrible taste. So we want to make sure that the flour that's in here is cooked. And like I said, if you look at this, this is dry, right? Like, there's barely anything left of the grease. So I'm gonna throw in a little bit of garlic, just a tiny bit. So I'm making this sweeter, so I don't want a ton of garlic. And we didn't put a ton of salt in the sausage, so a little seasoning salt. And the key to a good country gravy is a fuckload of pepper. But we need to add that after the cream. So at this point, we're stirred up and we're ready to go. And you will see how quickly this turns into gravy. Yeah, I gotta mix up my half and half. It's separated a little bit from the cream. There we go. Yeah, there's separation from cream. Okay. So now, we mix our sausage in. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of regular milk instead of cream, just to cut down the fat a little bit. And the lactose, because I just thought about that. If I do all half and half, that's a lot of lactose. And I use lactose-free milk. Now, here comes another thing that I can't really tell you how to measure. You're going to add it until it gets to the right consistency for you. So, some people like a runnier gravy, some people like a thicker gravy. I like a thicker one. Right now, this is not the consistency it's going to be. $50 and she eats raw flour. No! What time is food? Oh, in like 10 minutes. But hi, welcome in, ogre. What, and why would you have me eat raw flour? It's disgusting. Also, I know where you live too. Down the street from me, like 5 minutes. I could be there quite quick to kick your ass. You know I'm not kidding. Alright, so you notice that it's getting a quite thick consistency, because before I was not seeing the bottom. Now I am. Alright. When I said a lot, I meant a lot. Cream gravy requires a lot of pepper. You should see the pepper in it. Try that again. There we go. So like I said, this is the consistency I like. Some people like it thinner, some people like it thicker. Yuck. And that's what I want. I made this disintegrated. Sorry, Harry. Lactose fit. I would do celery for another $50 donation for the animals. You are correct. I would not like to. Perfect. All right. You did it for Hobbit Day. I mean, biscuits and gravy sounds like a pretty Hobbit thing, I would say. All right. Let's go ahead and. So we've split our biscuit, right? We've got this off now. Turn our oven off as well. Perfect. The money shot of biscuits and gravy is that right there. So, that is biscuits and gravy. Like I said, it's a lot different from what people think of. And they're from other countries. Excuse me. I have allergies really bad. I should always take an allergy pill before I stream, but it looks really good. Thank you. Yeah, this is biscuits and gravy. Put a little extra pepper on there just because. Like I said, if you want to be easy on this recipe, you can just get like frozen biscuits if you've got a brand you like, and you can just buy, pre-ground sausage. If it comes with a casing, cut it out of the casing because you want it to be, loose sausage. But yeah, this is our biscuits and gravy. And so I guess that ends the stream. I can't think of anything else that would go with this because honestly, it's the best thing ever. And normally this would be, I'll be honest, normal serving is double that. Once again, I can't do that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that would make this look pretty for me to like. You know what? Here, we'll make it look fancy for when I do my picture. But to be honest, it's not a fancy food. Like, Yeah, parsley. That's what I was thinking. Just give it a little bit of. See, you can't even see the parsley. I mean, I can get out. Parsley has like no flavor, so you can throw it on top of anything and just be like, look, it's pretty. There we go. Just to make it look pretty, right? Not that anyone would ever eat parsley with biscuits and gravy. That's some shit right there. There you go. Gourmet. Take that shit off. That's biscuits and gravy. Anyway. So give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna check out, see if we got somebody to raid. All right, I got this. My friend Adam is actually streaming. He always raids me, so I think it's time for me to have a chance to raid him. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I whisked last week, like I said, because of burning my hand, but all good now. Everything's great. Having, like I said, a bit of a day, but you got back just in time. Wolfie, you know this shit, because I make you this shit. So you're very familiar with this particular dish. Every time he comes up, I'm making biscuits and gravy actually. But thank you guys once again for coming in. I know it's always a strange stream when everybody's so used to playing games and everything. So I always appreciate when, you guys come in here to support. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, I'm gonna go support my friend Adam. Please throw him a follow if you haven't. Grim Perilous Plays is actually our studio that develops tabletop role-playing games, and he's playing on there just to get like some awareness and get people used to him as a person. Plus, we're supposed to be streaming some other stuff on there. So if you wouldn't mind throwing down a follow, I know he'd appreciate it. Adam is an amazing guy, amazing guy. One of my best friends for 16 years actually was my roommate. Has had this before once again, so I made it gluten-free for him. Anyways, but thank you guys. And always remember, if you ever need anything, I got you, boo. And I will see you all, hopefully, in some other streams. And once again, hopefully, next week. I appreciate all of you and love you so much. Bye. He doesn't.